Salley reunites with her suitcase, Brittany dodges more kisses, and Kira comes back for Jacob but leaves with Romeo. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Shared News. I am Allison Van Dam, joined today by the lovely Kayla Thompson to break down all that we saw during episode 5 of Bachelor in Paradise. We're so excited to be with you here live. So make sure you put all of your thoughts in the live chat. We'll be putting different questions and different thoughts up on the video as we go along. So give us your thoughts, give us your questions. We love to engage with you guys. Kayla, how are you doing? How did you like episode 5?
Hello, Allison, my beautiful friend. I am feeling good. I mean, I felt like this episode really brought it compared to Mondays. So there's lots to talk about, there's lots to dive into. And I can't wait. But yeah, how are you feeling about this episode?
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like we're in this pattern where Monday really is like maybe more the boring or like less exciting episode. And then that makes us want to see everything in Tuesday. And then, of course, they'll give us another teaser for next week. We'll be so excited to see it again. Monday's the more dull one, but it keeps us, engaged for Tuesday. So maybe it's something to do
Right.
with like retention rate, marketing. If they gave us all the good stuff on Monday, we probably wouldn't tune in on
Right.
Tuesday. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
This one definitely kept me more on the edge of my seat. And we were also just kind of left, not even on a cliffhanger per se, but just with an ending that no one really saw coming. So let's just dive right
Mm-hmm.
into this episode, starting from the top. It's a little tense. Ashley I even commented on the weird vibes that Paradise has. It's kind of a downer. So the guys are definitely super
Yeah.
panicked. We have 12 guys and 7 girls at this point. So as we stand, 5 guys are going to go home in the upcoming rose ceremony, which Zach pointed out on our live yesterday that we have yet to even get to our second rose ceremony, and we're on episode 5. So that was mind
Yeah.
boggling to me. But we're set up with 12 guys, 7 girls, and just when everyone was hoping that maybe they would have a saving grace, in comes Salley. So
Mm-hmm.
we're adding a girl to the
Mm-hmm.
equation. Obviously, her suitcase made it before her. She comes down to the beach. And it was not a very warm welcome. If I'm being honest, it kind of felt like mean girl energy coming from both Shanae and Genevieve. There was a lot of questions
Mm-hmm.
about why she missed her flights, why she was so late. Obviously, we got that kind of recap skit from Wells talking about how she went to visit her ex. She got a call from her ex at the airport, and that's why she didn't come. But now she's telling the girls that it actually had to do something with work, and that it was work things came up. She
Right.
prioritized her job, so that had to come first. Then they're questioning, where's your ex playing into this? She then says that she works with her ex. So I'm like, really? She could be
Mm-hmm.
saying work when it's really her ex, or vice versa. So Salley ends up crying to Justin, who we know bonded or maybe did a little bit more at Stagecoach, and leaves the
Uh-oh.
beach within an hour of getting there. Like, it was the most crazy in and out that I think I've ever seen on Bachelor in Paradise. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but it makes me question, should she have come? Do we believe her story about it being work? Do we believe Wells talking about it that it had something to do with the ex? And isn't it ironic that
Right.
Shanae, who was given a second shot in Paradise, is now
Mm-hmm.
making it so hard for Salley to feel welcome there?
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. This Sally thing. I mean, I was saying yesterday, Sally better bring it this episode. She better bring me something to talk about. And it, kind of she did. I mean, the situation itself did. I mean, first off, I have to say, I told you guys yesterday, Sally was not lasting on this beach. She was not making it to the second rose ceremony. But I did not know she was going to leave within the hour. That was wild. But no, I agree with you. I mean, Shanae and Genevieve really came off like honestly like bullies this episode. And it was
Mm-hmm.
really not becoming of them. It wasn't a good look. Not on James either. The way James kind of was picking at Justin, like, oh, he just wants the rose, and oh, his rose just walked out. It just kind of like really below the belt, kind of
Mm.
petty little icky comments, and I'm just like, what's going on? Is it too late? Did you guys have too much to drink? Like, are you a little frustrated? Y'all need to go to sleep? Why is everybody like just so hype off of, Sally? And I think what the other thing about, the Sally story is like anyone watching, right? can go online and hear Sally's side of the story, whether it's through Reality Steve or maybe she's posted about it, and really kind of get maybe a fuller picture. And I don't know, it's kind of weird for the show to try to like pretend like that, that's what happened when it really didn't happen. It's just weird. It
Mm-hmm.
just kind of feels gross all around. And so yeah, it made everyone who was coming at Sally look really bad, because even if she was talking to her ex, even if she was dating him right before, what's it to y'all? Like, what does that matter? Like Sally said, she's like, everybody has a past on this beach. Why are y'all coming at me? Everyone has things that they're kind
Yeah.
of maybe not being totally upfront about or fleshing out in front of everyone. Why are y'all coming at me when I literally just got here? So it kind of was just like, yeah, Genevieve, Shanae, James, y'all all looking not so great right now. Like
Yeah.
Sally didn't really deserve that. But I see
Totally. And
we have a
some of the
comment.
comments that she was making of, everyone has
Mm-hmm.
dirt, going off on kind of her rant there. She also said something along the lines of, I was told he wouldn't be brought up, or I was told that he wouldn't be discussed on the beach, which maybe I
Right.
guess was part of her contract or maybe part of her agreement to come on the beach. So I didn't know if that was alluding
Right.
to producers or Bachelor in Paradise telling her, we will implement a rule for the other cast members that they won't discuss this, which then clearly they violated because Wells's whole skit was kind of making fun of the whole thing. So what is your take on that
Yeah.
of if production had made her a promise that wasn't fulfilled? I mean, we've seen this in previous seasons where
For sure.
people were promised they'd be first on the beach so they wouldn't miss work, and then they ended up
Mm,
trapped in their hotel room for weeks. Bachelor in Paradise
goodness.
is known for not necessarily like standing up for their word or giving people what they promise. So did they just
Mm-hmm.
kind of say that to get her there, knowing that it would be the first
Yeah,
question on everyone's mind?
I think so. I think even it's funny that you bring it up, because I was also thinking about another thing Sally said about, like something in my gut was telling me this is why I should not come on the show. Like this is why I missed 3 flights because like I knew I was gonna be put in this trap. So yeah, I think I don't put it past producers to lie to Sally, to lie to everybody on the beach. Nothing against Wells. He's making the show. I understand. But I think it's just a messy way to go about it. I think there would have been drama from Sally anyway with Justin and stagecoach of it all. Like they didn't have to push this whole narrative and make Genevieve and Shanae like, blow the flames of it, and try to like stoke the
Mm-hmm.
fire of this. It just felt so overdone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this is actually a great point that Trisha is bringing up of why did producers like keep trying with Sally anyway if she kept backing out? It's weird too. Like Allison, what's your take on that? Because I'm just like, what is their obsession with Sally? Like, she barely was really on Clayton's season. She wasn't like how
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like, is she even really considered an alum? Like, she wasn't really on the show. Like, I don't know. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
It's definitely a question of why they push so hard. I mean, obviously, she was somewhat of a get because people didn't really know a ton about her. She left on such a weird note on her
Mm,
season. But I'm also wondering if maybe the reason that she continued to make their job so hard, wasting time and production money of trying to, fly there and get her on a flight, and then to have her just continue to say no and make their jobs harder, is that why she's kind of being put through this? Is that why they sent what we would assume to be either a fake suitcase or a suitcase stocked with things? Is that why they told the girls to go through the suitcase? Is it why they made her a
mm,
promise that her ex wouldn't be brought up and then they kind of went back on that? If production's
right.
frustrated with her and she continues to let them down, they're not going to be motivated to keep up their end of the bargain or really like continue to
Yeah.
give her a good edit or just a good
That's
time at the
fair.
show. They're going to throw her out there on the beach and see what happens and try and get the best TV possible. They're going to put Wells in a wig
Yeah.
and let him have his SNL debut, basically.
Right. Yeah. No, I do get that. I do understand how it goes. It's a reality show, You kind of this is what you
Yeah,
signed up for them to kind of mess with your life. Yeah.
totally. Yeah. And I do want to say I saw the comment beforehand of, is Sally's ex her boss? I just had someone do a little
Mm,
digging. Sally currently works at Medtronic, or that's what we can find online. So obviously that's a huge company, kind of impossible to know like how close they're working unless we were, in there with them. But definitely possible that he's his boss or her boss or somewhere superior, or maybe they just both work at Medtronic. But maybe we'll do a little more deep diving on that and
Yeah.
update you guys as we find out. But moving on, we have another arrival after Salley quickly departs the beach. Peter is here. Peter Pizza, whatever you want to call him. The pizzapreneur. Like, he's very into pizza. Clearly, he kind of comes in with this a little attitude. You know, I've used the phrase frat boy on this beach a lot. I think it really comes up in a lot of these guys.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
he really comes down with some confidence, I'll say, to say nicely. And
Yeah.
he asks Brittany on his date. He has a date card. They end up going on a yacht. And oh, I was feeling for Brittany, and maybe you can relate, Kayla. It was like she was trying to keep the
Mhm.
conversation alive, and he just used everything as an opportunity to be like, well, I
Yeah.
thank you for complimenting my eyes. I won best eyes in my high school yearbook, or like whatever. And I've met guys like this, and it's impossible
Yes.
to have a
Yes.
conversation with them. And
Oh,
so
goodness.
they end up being on the yacht. He says something along the lines of, well, we can make this moment better, and slides in for a kiss, and she dodges him. This girl
That's
is
my
an
girl.
excellent dodger, okay? She is not going to kiss anyone she doesn't want to kiss. And so I was
That's
proud of
right.
her in that moment. They wrap up their date, they go back on the beach, and what I had an issue with is Brittany's trying to kind of be positive or polite, saying, you know, he didn't really read the room a few times, like it just wasn't for me.
Mhm.
And Peter takes it to a whole new level and starts telling people that she's not there for the right reasons and she's actually there to be an Instagram influencer. To which I wanted to say, sir, just because she doesn't like you doesn't mean she's not there to find love. She just doesn't want to find love with
Right.
you. So I have met
Right.
plenty of guys like this in my past. Maybe you have too. It's clear he's just maybe lashing out and maybe he's, you know, embarrassed that she didn't want to kiss him. But give me your thoughts on the Brittany and
Mhm.
Peter of it all.
Oh, goodness gracious. Am I surprised about Peter? No. I was calling him pizza the whole time. I'm like, pizza, I don't have time for you. I don't have words. Like, I thought he was gonna come on the beach and kind of, show some growth. It's been about a year since he's
Mm-hmm.
been on Michelle's season. Like, come on, but no, he's kind of the same, just whack, like arrogant kind of, but like I don't really understand why he has this kind of, yeah, confidence, as you put it. I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, this is just, it's too much. But yeah, I think when he went so far as to, like, say, oh, she's just here for clout because she doesn't like me, is absolutely ridiculous. And I think it
Mm-hmm.
might actually kind of point to maybe why he's there, because he's all he's talking about is himself, talking about his business, talking about pizza. And like Casey was kind of like, I just feel like he's just here to build up, yeah, his business. And it was sad for Brittany because
Yeah.
yes, I've absolutely been in that position too, of just like, you know being on a date with the guy, and like it's just not going well, it's not going the way that you thought, but on top of that, he's just not getting it. You're like, are you here with me right now? Do you not understand? Do you
Yep.
not feel how this is not going well and you're just talking too much or whatever it is? And yeah, it sucks because Brittany is just like been, I feel like, overlooked on the beach, and she's just so gorgeous and fun. And I'm just like, why does this keep happening to her? It's just like she can't
Yeah.
catch a break
No,
here on
I'm with
Paradise.
you.
Well, so
Yeah.
far anyway. But
And Sassy in
yeah.
Chicago says Brittany was just trying to get through it. So classy. He was such a jerk. I completely agree, Sassy in Chicago. We could
Yeah.
all feel the energy, and we've all been there, like you said, Kayla, on a date where you know you're just on two very separate pages of how well it's going.
Mhm.
But like you said, up until
Mhm.
this point, Brittany had been very much overlooked, but not anymore because she and Andrew actually have a little chat and they end up kissing. So, first kiss that
Mhm.
she hasn't dodged. She went in for it. Talk about reading the
Mhm.
situation right. Peter should be taking
Right.
notes from her. But I really like this couple. I'm optimistic about them, and I want to see them maybe explore a deeper
Mhm.
connection because, yeah, I think they're two lovely people, and I'm excited to see where that goes. But
Yeah, for
moving on
sure.
to our next date of this episode, Jacob actually gets a date card and he invites Jill. So this is also a couple that I'm very excited by because they seem similar in my mind. It's like they don't take
Mhm.
life too
Mhm.
seriously. They have like kind of goofy senses of humor. And he ends up taking to Jill to a full moon ceremony. So they work with a shaman, they do all these exercises. And then at one point, she asks them if they're willing to take off their clothes and stand back to back and talk about what they like about each other. And Jacob was like, well, I'm comfortable with it. Are you? And she said, yes. They kind of just both went for it. So was this the perfect date for Jacob and Jill? And would you ever consider doing something like this on your first date with someone?
I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna be like, can you like, because for me, I will have to say no, absolutely not. I would not be that comfortable on the first date to be that vulnerable with
Mm-hmm.
my first date. But kudos to, I think it's kudos to Jill and maybe like her and Jacob's real genuine connection, because I don't know, Jill definitely comes across as a person who might I would like project like she would kind of bug out over that kind of scenario, like I have to get naked and I'm
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable, and I think I could easily see her freaking out, but Jacob must really make her feel safe and like he's trustworthy with her. So yeah, and I agree. I think they just make sense to me. Like when I saw them connect, like in the little flashback clip, I was like, oh, this is actually, yeah, this makes total sense. They match each other's vibe. They're both kind of quirky and weird, but they're both so cute. And they when they
Mm-hmm.
kiss Allison, I was like, okay, like I feel the chemistry there. So yeah, I'm glad that they found each other for sure. I think hopefully it continues and to go well, but an
Yeah, I
interesting
agree.
first
We'll have
date
to
for
keep our
sure.
eye on Brittany and Andrew and Jacob and Jill. But back on the beach, we saw some effort from the guys. So they're stepping things up a little bit. Brandon has everyone sing for Serene's birthday, gets her cake, and they all sing, which was, paying homage to a story that she told him of people not knowing it was her birthday or, not having positive birthdays as a kid. So he kind of tried to rewrite that. As we discussed yesterday, how is it just everyone's birthday? It's everyone's birthday
I
all the
know.
time. There's always a birthday. And
I
then
know.
Logan actually sets up a diving kind of treasure hunt for Shanae with there's a wine bottle in the pool with his lucky beads in it. So, in yesterday's episode, she had asked him to kind of step things up after her date with James. And
Mhm.
so, do you think that she's going to stick with James? Was this enough to prove his effort? Or she's going to go
Hmm.
back to Logan? Where's her rose going?
I think that after watching this moment, I think her rose is going to go to Logan, to be honest. I think that because one, they connected first and like she spent the most
Mm,
time with Logan. And I think also when she brings up James, it's like, I mean, Genevieve does it too with Justin, but it seems like she's kind of like, this is what I want from Logan. This is what I want from Logan. And it's like now she's getting it. And I think Logan actually even set an even better example along with Brandon. Of course, he's just such a king of just like listening and that pursuit of being like thoughtful and kind of like setting out something really cute to do. And it doesn't have to just be like he's all over me to be obsessed with me. And like it just is like, no, you're thinking about me and you want to do something kind of, I don't know, even beyond something just we're on the day bed, or you want to do something even
mm-hmm.
more. For me, I think goes a long way. And I think Shanae, you could tell in her face, she really took it just so well, and she was, yeah. So I think it's gonna be Logan. So
All right.
what about you?
I I might go the opposite way. I think there's something about
Mm.
James that she just feels very intrigued by, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
agree with it necessarily because I do think she and Logan have this great connection and he's clearly showing effort in a way that James necessarily hasn't. But there's
Mm-hmm.
something about James where she wasn't just automatically going back and saying, "Well, I'm going to stick with Logan." She basically was telling Logan, "No, this is my new bar. This is who I'm going with unless you match him or unless you impress me more." And so I
Yeah,
just feel like she kind of has this maybe impossible standard for Logan to meet now that she has James and had that good date with him. So I'm
that's
gonna
a
go the
good point.
opposite way, and we're gonna have to see who's right. Hopefully next episode. I can't
Okay,
believe it's gonna be episode 6 for the second rose
I
ceremony. But
know.
anyways, Jacob and Jill return from their date. Clearly, they had a great time. They're smiling, they're telling everyone about it. This is like the new great couple. And then chaos strikes. It's like a lightning rod post thing. I don't know what lightning is. A bolt. There we go.
There we go.
A lightning bolt on the beach. Um, and Kira walks up out of nowhere. Obviously, she went home, so she's back,
Mm-hmm.
boulder ready, and pulls Jacob,
Mm-hmm.
which surprised me because I'm like, I didn't
Yeah.
necessarily see their connection. Obviously, she did that big grand gesture before last rose ceremony where she wore the leaves and she was really trying for Jacob's rose. But I was very surprised that of
Right.
all the guys, she pulled him. And she said that she has
I know.
unfinished business with him. And he goes with her to a daybed, kind of just leaving Jill by herself. And she's saying things to him. She said at one point that Jacob feels like home to her. So either there was a huge chunk of their relationship that was left on the cutting room floor that we didn't see,
Right.
or she's just really doesn't want to leave this beach alone. And so they're having this whole
Mm.
conversation. Jill's clearly upset because she just had this great date with him, and then suddenly Kira's back, and like the shiny new object, he just goes with her and kind of forgets all about Jill. And it's not until Brittany comes to the daybed and calls Jacob out, basically saying, Jill went to bed. You need to go fix this. That Jacob,
Yeah.
finally wraps up the conversation, says, Kira, our connection is too forced. It was never going to work out. And then he goes and finds Jill. So from my perspective, Brittany is responsible for saving Jill and Jacob's relationship. So I'm curious, would Jacob
Mm.
have even realized his mistake and like gone and tried to fix it with Jill without Brittany flagging that for him? Do you think he's like
Mm-hmm.
that emotionally in tuned, or would he just have shown up for breakfast tomorrow
Yeah.
assuming everything was okay?
I think he probably, yeah, good. That's a good point, Allie. I think he probably would have shown up for breakfast the next morning and been like, no, I turned her down. And because I think Jacob went into that conversation with Kira knowing he wasn't going to be open to Kira. But he
Mm-hmm.
just kind of let it go on too long. And that was really the issue. And so, yeah, I think Brittany definitely, her intervening like that definitely salvaged it, because if they had went to sleep on that, Jill, we know how Jill has kind of been like, she probably would have festered over it and just been like, you know what, that's
Mm-hmm.
not a good sign, like forget it, like, and just been, so I think that, yeah, I'm glad that Brittany came in and like kind of helped that situation, because I think that they're still great together. And I don't, like I said, I don't
Yeah.
think Jacob would have been, he wasn't gonna be interested in that anyway. I think he just was like trying to be nice or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I love that little bit where he was like telling Kira when he went to go talk to her. He was like, well, actually, first, one, I do like how he told Kira, hey, honestly, I do feel like this is a little too forced. And like, I'm really
Mm-hmm.
feeling Jill. And just is like, no, like, I appreciate you for coming here. Like, I appreciate how he said that. But when he went to Jill and was like, yeah, I pretty much was just like, good luck and God bless. I don't know why that made me laugh. I was like, that's exactly what I would have said. Like, listen, not
Yep.
not here for it.
It's
But
just, it's
yeah,
too late. The ship has sailed. He is fully in it with
yes,
Jill. And especially after a date like that, I was just so glad, honestly, that they were able to have the conversation, whether it was because of Brittany or because he would have done it on his own. Like him going up, sitting with Jill, talking things through. She's like sitting there with their crystals from their date. So I was just glad that
yeah,
we actually still have some stable couples going into this rose ceremony. So happy it all worked out for
right.
them. But this is not the end of Kira's journey. She doesn't just go home because Romeo stops her on the beach as she's walking back from the daybed, and she asks him to leave with her, to leave paradise with her. And whether it's editing or he actually took 7 years to decide, we saw all of those thoughts going through his mind because he was just doing the
Right.
mental math of where he's going to end up at that rose
Yes.
ceremony and if it's better for
Yes.
him to go now or try his luck of someone giving him a rose. So they end up leaving
Right.
the beach together. And I can't be the only one who literally saw Romeo's panicked face as Kira was talking to producers, being so excited that they were leaving together, getting in the van. I mean, they did it
Mm-hmm.
for us. They
Mm-hmm.
zoomed in on his face at one moment.
Yep.
So what is this? What happened? I'm so confused. And do they have any chance?
No, they don't. But I think Romeo and Kira are just it's like, you know what? It just makes sense because both of you guys I cannot figure out. Like I cannot wrap my head around what you guys want. Like I don't know. It was just so weird because Kira comes on the beach for Jacob, right? And then that doesn't work out. And then Romeo, right, comes out of nowhere. He kind of comes out of nowhere and approaches her. That's the only reason
Mm-hmm.
why she even had this conversation with him anyway. And so it's like, okay, so now Romeo does want Kira, but then when Kira's like, okay, bet, so let's leave. Now you're like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It's like you guys are both just so confusing. And I do think he was giving the someone please save me. I don't know what I just got myself into. Like, I'm going to blink 3 times and y'all need to save me from the van. Okay, ready? Here we go. Like, he was stressed and I was dying laughing. But yes, exactly, King J. Someone save Romeo. He's being held hostage. It definitely gave that vibe.
Literally.
That was probably editing, but it definitely gave the vibe.
Oof.
It
But
was
it's also
hilarious.
hard too because he agreed to go, even if he were,
Yeah.
doesn't agree with his decision later on. Like I don't know if he's being held hostage because he agreed to leave the beach with her. And clearly he was
Yeah.
still even trying to shoot his shot a little bit by going, like you said, Kayla, to see her on the beach to talk to her. He could have just let
Mhm.
her walk off
Mhm.
by herself. He
It's true.
interjected and joined this whole conversation. And
Yeah.
Trisha is saying Brittany is clearly the mature one on the beach. Love her. I agree. And I
Mhm.
think the reason we're not seeing a ton of her is because she's mature and hopefully because she
Mhm.
goes a long way. As we said yesterday, we tend to see a lot of the people who go home earliest a lot in the first few episodes. They get their screen time and then they don't make it through the
Right.
first couple rose ceremonies. Maybe this is a sign that Brittany and hopefully Andrew, because I think they're a really cute couple, are gonna, make it through the whole thing. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I think it's possible. I think too the interesting thing about Andrew and Brittany potentially is that I think they both live in Chicago. I think I remember that for
Mm-hmm.
some reason. So that actually could make a lot of sense. They're both extroverts, and that could be
Yep.
really cute. But yeah, I agree. I want Brittany to go to last a while, and maybe that makes sense why we're getting so much like Genevieve and these other people. That maybe that's a sign that they might not be lasting till the end. So that's a good point.
It's an interesting point. Yeah. So I guess any final predictions, any crazy roses you see being handed out next, hopefully
Mm.
Monday. They can't give us another episode before a rose ceremony. We have to
No,
finally get
no, no,
one.
no. Yeah, I think we'll be getting the rose ceremony on Monday because we will see the Casa Amor Love Island kind of them biting off of Love
Mm-hmm.
Island by at least Tuesday. We have to because yeah, we saw that in the trailer. Which, if you watch the trailer, you know me, my eye. If you watch the trailer, there is a wide shot of everybody on the couch when Jesse announces this twist, and you can pause and
Mm-hmm.
see who's there and who's not there. So
Is it the
I
current
won't
group that we
say
have,
who
or is it
I
different?
caught. Yeah, I mean it's the current group that we have, but it's just it's missing some guys. They're missing some men. So you
Ooh,
can see
okay. So
who
maybe
didn't
post
make it.
rose ceremony. I see, I see.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Interesting.
but I think for roses, I think that we'll see Brittany give her rose to Andrew. I think that we'll see um yeah, I think that's like the main one that's like, oh, we're not sure. I don't know what's going to happen with Michael and, obviously with Logan versus not Jacob, James. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Casey, I feel like Casey's out, but yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like we've just been lacking in a decent amount of Casey footage. Really, all we got from him is doing the football commentary with Michael A. I'm
Yeah.
a little nervous for Michael A. just because obviously Sierra went home. Um,
Mhm.
but maybe, I mean, he is a hot commodity on the beach. So I'm trying to think of like which of the women would kind of give him their rose. But it would also give me cause for, fear or not knowing if I should give him my rose because he really ended things with Sierra, whether or not this was the full honest truth, by saying he wasn't sure if he
Mm-hmm.
was ready. He wasn't sure if he could
Yeah.
jump fully into something. So even though he's such a sweet guy and like obviously is, as
Mm-hmm.
I said, a hot commodity on the beach, I'd also be wondering, okay, well, this time next week, am I going to be heading home because he realizes the same thing about me? So that's probably going on in
Yeah.
the back of some of these women's mind.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. And so, yeah, maybe he should go home and figure that out. I don't know, but we'll have to see. Celeste says the Jacob and Jill date was sexy but wild. I love them together. Tarzan found his Jane. You know what? They do both kind of. Jill kind of does like resemble that, like, the brunette hair and everything. It works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're super
Yeah.
cute.
I like their energy together. Here's the thing. I feel like Jacob and Jill fit very well together. I think Andrew and Brittany fit very well together. It just took them a while to kind of find those like
Mm-hmm.
matching puzzle pieces. But now that I see Jill with
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, I'm like, well, yeah, no wonder it didn't work with any of these other people. They're not the right fit. So that's what I love about Paradise is you
Right.
can kind of like try different relationships on for size, and some people click right
Yeah.
away, aka Brandon and Serene. And sometimes people just
Mm-hmm.
need like a few different days or a couple rose ceremonies to really realize what they need.
Yeah. Allie, who do you think is going to stick together post the Casa Amor, and who do you think is going to crack?
Brandon and Serene have to stay together, I think.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I worry about Genevieve and Aaron and James and Shanae because I think James and Aaron are the type of people that just say, well, an opportunity is an opportunity. Let me see who these new people are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really true. I will say, I think, I saw Eliza in the preview, and Rodney has definitely been
Mm,
really vocal about being interested in Eliza. We even saw, if you watch the preview for next week, I know I keep talking about the preview. Y'all know me. But yeah, he's definitely talking with Eliza, so I think Lace is probably, she's in trouble for sure. So,
yeah. Yeah.
but I agree with
Oh,
all
yeah.
your other takes. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we got a comment here. A good meet on the Dear Shandy YouTube channel regarding Brittany interrupting Jacob and Kira. Jacob should have been given a chance to make an unsolicited decision to end the convo. That's true. I mean, we don't know how he would have chosen to wrap that up if he had just been left to his own devices. Would he have said exactly what he said? Would he have given, Kira another chance? It would have been, a stronger move on his part to be able to do that on his own. But I think Brittany was probably just trying to really protect her friend, let him know what was going on, and give them the best possible
Hmm.
chance of success. But yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
interesting to see how Jacob decided to do that on his own.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it also might have been a little bit, just throw some respect to Kira as well. Like, she has just as much right to express herself, and if she wants to
Mm-hmm.
have a conversation with Jacob, like, yes, it was a little, bad timing, and it was kind of not a great look, I guess, but I think she deserves to have that conversation if she wants to as well. So, I can definitely see that point. I definitely see that side.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Well, hopefully, no more kind of mystery people coming back. Let's hope Salley just decides to head home and doesn't do a revisit of the beach because I think we just
Right.
need to move on to bigger and better things. As you mentioned, we got this twist coming up of the women being told to leave paradise. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. She wants to be with Justin. That's
Ugh,
funny.
there are some good guys this
Justin
season.
probably should go,
Yeah.
honestly.
Justin might need to try and meet some women in the real world. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. But yeah, no, he's great. Oh, this was the wide chat I was talking about, guys.
Ooh, there we go.
Here it
There it
goes. So
is.
we see. So Logan is there with Shanae. Oh, I guess there we go, Allie. I was
James,
right. I was
not
right.
to quote TikTok, but James, um, wow,
James.
that
So
very
yeah,
much, yeah,
Genevieve gave her rose to Aaron. Of course, Serene gave it to Brandon.
uh huh,
Shanae gave it to Logan. We've got, I think that's Lace. It's got to be Lace next to Rodney. Jill, obviously,
yep,
with Jacob.
looks like it.
Victoria and Johnny, and yeah, Brittany and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
I'm
there's more
not
footage
mad
of
about these
Michael though. So
couples.
Yeah, but I'm like, where's Michael though? You know, I'm
That's a good
concerned.
point. Ooh,
Yeah.
is that Jasenia coming
Um.
in?
Yep. Jasenia. I'm not sure who that
Newcomers.
is next to her. I think that's Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I think we've seen some stuff with Sarah and Logan, maybe. So we'll have to watch out for that.
Oof.
I'm not
It's
sure
gonna
who
be an
that is next to
interesting
her, but
week.
yeah. And then my girl Eliza, bringing it.
Woo! Alrighty.
Yeah. This will
Well,
be interesting.
I'm excited. This is what they do. This is what they do
Yeah.
to us, Kayla. They hook
I
us with a
know. I
good preview,
know.
and then they leave us wanting more
Mm-hmm.
on Monday, and then they deliver more on Tuesday with another preview. And we talk about how we're
Yep.
never gonna we have bachelor fatigue, but they're geniuses of keeping us strung along.
It's so
So
true.
that is all we have for you guys for recapping episode 5. Thank you so much for being active in the live chat with your thoughts and your questions and all of your feedback about who you're loving on the beach this summer. I guess, yeah, there's not really much more to say other than we'll be back obviously next week to recap both of those episodes. So before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on any Bachelor in Paradise updates, and leave any additional thoughts you might have in the comments down below. I am your host, Allison Van Dam, joined today by Kayla Thompson. If you want to come find our socials, come say hello. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye, guys.